I teach in the field of business, and in business, integrity is paramount. We have all heard stories of untrustworthy people and bad business dealings and unethical practices and ethical practices. So in the business community, it's really important. There's accounting where you could potentially cook the books, so to speak. There's statistics that you might skew information. And so these are all ways that, acting with integrity or not in the educational setting would transfer then into the business setting. And I know in business, we all like to do business with trustworthy people.
In science, in all the sciences, ideas are kind of the currency, kind of the thing that scientists use. Writers will write books, engineers will make things, get a patent. In science, it's the idea, right? If somebody comes up with a new idea or a new understanding on a topic or researches it and puts that time into it, that's their product. That's what they've done. And for somebody else to come along and take credit for that, that's stealing. That's what it fundamentally comes down to. So when somebody writes a paper, even if it's just a little paper on something, and then a student comes along and quotes a big section of it and not only doesn't give credit, but either quotes too much or does something else that would cross that line into plagiarism, they're stealing from that person.
When you don't act with integrity in healthcare, you're putting lives at risk. Patient care with integrity translates to safe, quality, client-driven care.
Academic integrity is paramount. It's critical in healthcare. If you don't know what you're doing, somebody's going to die, and that's your fault. And I can't imagine anything worse than that, to have, be responsible for somebody's death because of your ignorance or mismanagement, because you skipped over that test or that assignment one day because you want to go do something else, and then you cheated a little bit to kind of get around that to make sure you could get into a program, and you just never kind of caught up on that info. It's devastating, not only to you, but to the other family as well, right?
So I'm in the automotive industry, and academic integrity is critical. There are so many people that don't trust their mechanic or their automotive technician because there are so many different variances. For instance, I owned a business. One of my technicians forgot to do an oil change, but I called the customer and told them we forgot. They didn't like it. They didn't want to hear that, but they enjoyed and appreciated the truth. Our students have the opportunity every single day to recommend what needs to be done and not sell something that doesn't need to be done. And academic integrity is what has taught them right from wrong and how to stand on their own feet and make the right choice. The integrity that we ask the students to display and to practice in completing their own work pays off in the long run. They're torquing tires down, they're doing the job right, but if they make critical mistakes and have cheated through the program, they could leave a tire loose, they could leave a nut loose or a bolt loose that could kill somebody. The integrity that we ask the students to display and to practice in completing their own work pays off in the long run. They're torquing tires down, they're doing the job right, but if they make critical mistakes and have cheated through the program, they could leave a tire loose, they could leave a nut loose or a bolt loose that could kill somebody.
If they've approached the programs and the trades with integrity, then they take that out to the job setting. And so when they're journeymen, now they're in a position of, instead of being supervised, they're the supervisors. And so that occurs at the end of 4 years. And then the owners, the contractors know that that journeyman that they have on a job that's supervising others takes that approach of integrity, and they can count on them to get the job done. And what they say is going to be backed up by action.
In my field, I stated at the top that I'm communication and media arts. And in communication, there's always this really interesting tension between trying to deliver a speech, for example, that might be a persuasive speech. And we teach students to think about their audience and to try to construct arguments that would likely persuade that particular audience. With that said, you don't want to make those kinds of arguments in a way that's inappropriately coercive. You want to be able to be honest with your audience and have them either believe something or change their beliefs based upon reasoning that's real. And in the field of media arts, you also have to think of integrity along the lines of things like, am I caring more about the story than the person? Or am I inappropriately representing the story? And on the other ends of every story construction are the tensions of we want ratings and we want to drive hits on social media, those kinds of things. And sometimes misrepresenting something might make it more interesting or inflammatory and therefore achieve that purpose. So you're always navigating those tensions between accuracy and also fulfilling your job.